y'all. So if you are watching this video, I so appreciate you taking the time to make sure that your study guide is correct and that you understand all of the information. I'll probably be breaking this up into at least 2 videos. I don't think I'll have time right now to go through the entire thing, but we will get through as many of them as we can in this video. Okay, so up first, we are looking for B. Well, this is a part of a corner angle, which you'll remember is 90 degrees. So the entire thing is 90 degrees. We're going to subtract out for that 44. That's going to leave us with 46 degrees. So that's going to be 46 degrees. Now, vice versa, the next one is going to be not equal to 90, but they are not complementary. I'm sorry, they are supplementary. They form a straight line. So that one's going to be equal to 180 all together. We'll subtract down the 98, what's already been used. So 180 minus 98 is 82 degrees. Okay, and that suffices for showing your work for that. Now this is your midpoint. If you don't remember your midpoint formula, it's x1 plus x2, or vice versa, it doesn't matter, divided by 2, comma, y1 plus y2 divided by 2 in parentheses. Your final answer is going to be an ordered pair. So you need to know these ordered pairs. This is at 5, negative 2. And this one's at negative 3, negative 4. Okay, so I'm going to plug in what I know. First off, the x's are negative 3 plus 5 divided by 2. And my y's are negative 4 plus negative. So I'm just going to say minus 2. Because we don't want to say plus and negative, we'll just say minus. So do the math. Negative 3 plus 5 is going to be 2 over 2, which is 1, comma. Over here, negative 4 minus 2 is going to be negative 6 divided by 2, which is going to be negative 3. So your midpoint is at 1, negative 3. I do need to see the work for this. I realize you probably could eyeball it and get that point, but that's not what I want to see. I want to see the work. Okay, distance formula. You are going to have this formula memorized. So the distance formula is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And again, this is a good one to know. You're probably going to need this on your ACT, so it's just a good one to have. I like to label each of these points x1, y1, x2, y2, just so I don't get confused. Then you'll plug them in. So x2 is negative 8 minus x1, which is 6. That's in parentheses, going to be squared. y2 is negative 6 minus 4 in parentheses squared. There's a plus sign in the middle, and this is still all underneath the radical. Now, within this parentheses, negative 8 minus 16, that's going to give me negative 14 squared plus, this is going to be negative 10 squared. It's fine that it's negative. That's going to work itself out. 14, or negative 14 squared, either one, is going to give us 196. Negative 10 squared is going to give us 100. This is still all underneath that radical. Together, that gives us 296 underneath the radical, and then we're going to take the square root of 296. I'm just plugging that into my calculator. I'm doing that off to the side. The square root of 296 gives me a decimal. It is approximately 17.2. So approximately 17.2. Okay, all right, moving on to the next one. These, you are telling me what they are. These are corresponding. Okay, so you have to tell me how you know they're corresponding. They are same location on a different parallel line. That's just one explanation. It doesn't have to be the same, but they're both on that top right. So you could say both located in the top right. Instead of just saying same location, you could say both located in the top right of their parallel line and the transversal. That's fine. This one's same side, interior. Okay, that's because they are on the same side of the transversal. Same side of the transversal and in between the parallel lines. Okay. Number 7, these two are supplementary, which mean they are going to add together to equal 180. So 110 plus x plus 74 is going to equal 180. So don't panic when you add the like terms together. That's going to give you 184 plus x equals 180. I know that's greater than 180, but that's okay. When you subtract, you're going to get x equals -4. And it's okay for x to be negative because x isn't actually the angle, it's just the x. When you plug it back in, -4 plus 74 gives you 70. So 70 degrees and 110, that is supplementary. So that's perfect. Over here on this one, these are actually alternate exterior, but if you look at this, these two vertical are going to be the same. The vertical and the alternate interior are going to be the same, and then these two are vertical and they're the same. So if all of those are going to be the same, that means that 24x is going to actually equal 120. So then we can divide by 24 on both sides. 120 divided by 24 gives me 5. So x equals 5. Okay? Now, on this problem number 9, you're looking for parallel slope. Parallel slope is the same slope. If you remember, this is in y equals mx plus b form. M is your slope. We are not worried about the y-intercept, not even looking about it, paying any attention. It does not matter to us. We're strictly talking about the slope. So if the slope is 3/5, then our slope is also going to be 3/5 because parallel slopes are the same. Okay, versus it being perpendicular. Okay, again, this is my slope, -2, but it's not going to be the same. It is going to be positive, opposite, and then the reciprocal, 1/2. So that's what I'm looking for because it's the opposite reciprocal. I think that's spelled right. Okay, this one, number 11, you are working on a translation. If you wanted to slide it and actually perform a slide, then you would be going to the right 5 and then down 1. And you could do that. That is fine with me if you wanted to do it that way. But if you don't want to do it that way, you could also make a table. And that's how we talked about it in class. We made a table. You have your original XY coordinates, and then you apply the shift using that change. So like x is at 1, 2, 3. X is at -3, +1. Y is at 1, 2, -2, 0. Z is at 1, 2, 3, 4, -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, so -4, -4, and W is at -4, -1. Perfect. So we've got our original points, and then you apply this slide. So +5, you're going to add 5 to each of these x's, so that's going to be +2, +3, +1, +1. Okay, and then your y's, you're subtracting, did I do that right? Yes, so -3 plus 5 is 2, -2 plus 5 is 3. Okay, I just want to double check I did that right. Sorry. And then your y's are going to subtract. 1 minus 1 is 0. That's going to be -1. -4 minus 1 is going to be -5. -1 minus 1 is going to be -2. So these are your new order pairs. You can plot those. 2, 0 is here, and that's going to be x prime, because remember, prime is the second. 3, -1 is going to be here. That's going to be y prime. +1, -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right here is going to be z prime. And then 1, -2 is going to be w prime. Okay, and then I'm going to use a straight edge to connect those. So I have straight lines. I want that to look pretty and neat. Just like so. There you go. And so this shaded one is my second one. Okay, perfect. If you did a slide, then you would need to, obviously you would need to tell me what you did to get this point. You can't just do it. Now for this rule, okay, we're actually going to write the rule. So we know the rule is going to start like this. From the original xy, it's going to go to, if you look, here's I and here's I prime. So this is actually the image and this is your pre-image. So the first thing we're talking about is what happened to the x's. Well, this went from here over 1, 2, 3. So +3 because you're moving to the right. And then your y value, we actually go up 1, 2. So your y is going to be +2. And that is your rule, and you could justify by saying slide over to the right 3 units, then up 2 units. There you go. And that could work for each one. Over 3, up 2. Over 3, up 2. Over 3, up 2. So that works. Okay, moving on. Next up, we are reflecting over x equals 1. So x equals is a vertical line. Okay, x equals is a vertical line at -1. So we're reflecting over this line. So this is tricky. It's actually going to like flop right on top of itself. You're just counting. This is 1, 2 units away from the line of reflection. So you're going to go 1, 2 units off of the line of reflection, and that's going to be t prime. So just look at it 1 point at a time, 2 places away, 2 places away. You got your t prime. Same thing with s. We are 1, 2 off of the line of reflection. So 1, 2. That's going to give us s prime. U is only 1 unit off of the line of reflection. So I go 1 unit here. That gives me u prime. So it is just literally right on top of itself. And you're just counting those places just like that. So it's kind of hard to see. To justify it, I would say x equals -1 is a vertical line. I counted the units away from line of reflection and repeated it. Okay, this one wants to know what is the rule to describe what happened to this. So if you look at this, F is here, F is there, F prime is there, E, F, F. So we have a flip, which we call a reflection, and it is over this line right here. You can tell that's where they are equal distance from. F is here, F is there. Since it's a horizontal line, it's going to be y equals, and that's at +1. So there's a reflection over y equals 1, or positive 1, sorry. This one is a rotation. You can see it's rotated, and it is around the origin. If I connect that back to the origin, V each time, you can see that it's rotated. You can also see it's rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise. 90 degrees counterclockwise rotation. Okay, and I think this justifies what I'm saying. You can see here I've drew that, which gives me that 90-degree angle. Okay, 16. Okay, number 16. So, if we look here, we're trying to decide if it's congruent, and if it is, how. Remember, our congruency statements are side, angle, side, angle, angle, side, angle, side, angle, side, 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 or hypotenuse leg. Those are our options. Hypotenuse leg I wrote over here though because it is only available to be used if you have a right angle. So you'd have to have a square box that is representing a right angle. So if you look at this, you can see that you have angle, angle, side. So we know an angle, and we know a side. Is that one of our options? Yes. Angle, angle, side. Okay, so we know two sides, no two angles and a non-included side. Okay, so that's how we know that. That's my justification. On this one, the side is shared, so we know that side. So now we know side, angle, side. So this one's going to be side, angle, side. We know that because we have two sides with the included angle. Okay, for this one, number 18, again, they have a shared side. I'm just going to put one tick mark because they've got 2 for this one and 3 for that one. So that means we have all 3 sides, which is side, side, side. All sides are known. Okay, for this one we have 2 angles and then the included side. So very similar to 16, but you have the included angle. So this one's actually angle, side, angle. So 2 angles with the included side. So that justifies each of those and gives you your answers for those. Perfect. We're rolling. Okay, I only have about 10 more minutes until the bell rings, so I'm going to try to get at least to 25. Okay, on this one it says, what additional information is required for us to know that the triangles are congruent for a given reason? Okay, sorry. So we want this to be side, side, side. So what do we need to know? We need to know that segment WY over here is congruent to HJ. That's what we need to know. If we knew that, then that would be true. For this one, they want it to be side, angle, side. It's understood that we know those are vertical, so we don't need any extra information for that, but what we do need is we need to know that this side, ML, is going to be congruent to this side, LU. If we knew that, then we would be good to go. Okay, number 22. If we're looking at this one, this is a triangle. The triangle has a total degrees of 180. So we're going to say 55 plus 40 plus 13x plus 7 is equal to 180. I'm going to combine all of my like terms. 55 plus 40 plus 7 is, hold on, I messed my calculator up, 102. Plus 13x equals 180. So I'm going to subtract 102 so I can isolate 13x. 180 minus 102 is 78. Then I have to divide by 13. 78 divided by 13 is 6. So x equals 6. Okay? That's all there is to that one. It just wants you to solve for x. We did that, so we're good to go. For this one, they actually want you to find angle A. So we can't just find x. We have to find angle A, but that's okay. The process is still the same. So we know x plus 74 plus x plus 54 plus 70 is going to equal 180. Okay, that hasn't changed. Now I'm going to combine my x's. That gives me 2x because there are 2 of them. Then we have 74, 54, and 70. So 74 plus 54 plus 70 equals 198. And again, don't freak out. It's okay. All right, bring down the 180. I'm going to subtract that 198. So 180 minus 198 is negative 18. Okay, I'm going to write that over there. 2x equals negative 18. I divide by 2. X equals negative 9. Now, that's not the final answer. That's just the first part. I need to find angle A. So I have to take this and plug it into A, which is x plus 54. So I'm going to take that negative 9 and I'm going to plug it in. Negative 9 plus 54. That's going to give me the measure of angle A. Okay, so negative 9 plus 54, that gives me 45. Just like that. Oh, sorry, y'all couldn't see any of that. I'm sorry. X plus 54, you plug in that negative 9, and then that gives you 45.
There will not be any eating outside in Jack's Landing today. You brought your lunch. You can eat in the cafeteria, I'm guessing. Also, we have salads for sale down in the hydroponics lab. Thank you.
Okay, y'all, we're going to keep going. Angle bisector. An angle bisector is something that cuts the angle in half. So that means this angle Q has been cut in half, which means angle 1 is going to be congruent to angle 2. So since angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, all I have to do is set those two things equal to each other. 5x minus 9 is equal to 4x. Now, look, because your x's are on different sides, I need to get those together. If I were to move 4x over here, I would have nothing on this side, so I'm going to go ahead and move 5x to this side. Okay, no big deal. That cancels, leaves you with negative 9 equals, this is going to be negative 1x. We divide by negative 1, so x equals positive 9. Make sure you answer your question. X equals 9, find x. Bingo, we got it. Last one that I'm going to do on this video is number 25. We've made it to the halfway mark. We're talking about an outside angle, an exterior angle. Remember that the sum of the remote interior is equal to the exterior. Okay, so that means that if I take the measure of angle G, add it to the measure of angle H, because those are the remote interior, it is going to be equal to the measure of angle GFY. Okay, this one right here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say G is 2x plus 15. H is 7x minus 7. It equals 116. So I'm going to add 2x and 7x. So 2 plus 7 is 9x. And then I'm going to add positive 15 and negative 17. So 15 minus 7 is 8. That equals, bring down 116. Subtract out the 8. 116 minus 8 is 108. 9x equals 108. Divide by 9. So x equals 12. Again, is that what we're looking for? No. They want you to actually find G. So you go over here to G and you plug in your x. So 2 times 12 plus 15. 2 times 12 is 24. Plus 15 gives you 39 degrees. So G is 39 degrees, and that is your answer. Okay? All right, so we're going to call it quits for now. I will have a second video for you to watch the last 25, but I'll have to do that on a different planning period. So end out this one and then pick up on the next video.